Hello, Flosstube.
Greetings.
I'm Laura.
I'm Joe.
Welcome to the Slovak Farm.
This is the farm where we grow cross-stitch.
One stitch at a time. Today is Monday, September 25th. How is everybody today?
We get the intro done properly.
We did. Not the only thing I've done right today.
Oh, jeez, you're perfectly fine. Oh. You woke up on this side of the grass.
It's true. Didn't get buried alive today. Or last night.
Well,
if that were the case, I'd be in heaven.
Oh.
I'd be awful lonely because you wouldn't be with me. Okay, anyways, moving along.
I'd be along shortly. Do you really think I'd be able to take care of myself?
Probably not. Okay. Well, now that we've had that depressing thought, let's move along. How was everybody's week? What are you doing?
Fidget toy.
How was the first week at the new job?
It was great. I'm actually liking it. And fun with other things. With I went to work for the other
Anyways.
yeah. Funny situations are happening.
Yes. So I had a good week. I had an interesting week.
I do have one thing to complain about that happened today.
Ooh.
I hate buying shoes online.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Because here's my problem. I like cowboy boots. But I'm buying a cowboy boot, work boot hybrid. The cowboy boots I got are size 9, and I'm probably going to have to go get a size 8.5. The work boots I have by the same manufacturer are a size 10. I know I am. I'm upset. Can people please use the standardized measuring system that exists?
No. You should try buying women's clothes.
I have. It was confusing. I never bought her clothes again. None of it fit. And I used the sizes she had.
Like you literally looked at my clothes and used those sizes and they weren't right. Okay. So yeah, welcome to life. It's confusing.
So now I gotta wait like a week for the shoes I need for work because I gotta get a new size. I might should go look up the size chart and see if I can just like measure my foot.
That might help. That might help. That might help. I don't know. I had an adventure this last week.
Oh, which one?
Which one? I only had one. I had more than one?
Define adventure. This is what you did heading down south, and this is what you did on Saturday.
Saturday wasn't an adventure. Saturday was a funeral lunch.
Yeah, but it was your first one. It was an adventure.
Okay, like, everybody's like, oh, Laura, your first funeral lunch. Because I'm taking over doing the funeral lunches for someone. She was still there. She still made sure to, she was still there. She was still part of it. So it wasn't like I was completely by myself. I mean, so, yeah. No, but my adventure was, Tuesday morning my mother called and she was not feeling well. She has arthritis in her knees. It's taken a year and a half longer to figure this out. That's a whole story. But she was not feeling up to walking because they were still working on figuring out the arthritis thing and figuring out getting her on medication. I don't know how. She seemed to be feeling it better yesterday. But anyways. So, she was like, I really don't think going is a good idea. My dad didn't really think her going down and walking around Amish country was a good idea. I didn't really think it was a good idea. Here's the thing. When I asked my mom about going down to Amish country, I asked her about going because I needed stuff like I was out of stuff. So I decided to drive myself. And I survived.
Obviously.
Obviously, I survived.
And look, I don't even see more gray hairs.
Oh, I had a meltdown when I got home. I totally sat down on the kitchen floor and cried. I don't know why. I'm one of those people, like, when I get overwhelmed with emotions, it comes out as tears. So, like, I was just overwhelmed, and I got home, and I was like, okay, I'm safe. I'm home. I'm safe. I can let it all out now, right? Yeah. So I got what I needed from the ashery. I made a pit stop. I went down to the cute little fabric store that I wanted to check out for wool applique stuff. It was cute. She had some cute stuff. Ouch. She had cute stuff. Maybe I'm just used to cross stitch and yarn supplies where it's like you go in and you have so many choices. I felt like there wasn't a lot of choices. I don't know. Maybe I'm just because I'm used to, like I said, used to the cross stitch options and the yarn options, right? I don't know.
Well, it is a shit ton easier to dye floss.
Yeah. I don't know. I did find some stuff. You'll see it at home. But I also think that part of my thought, I don't want to say my thinking, my problem. I don't want to say my thinking. I don't want to say my problem. I'm not entirely sure how to word it. But I am sure how to word it. I think it might be easier for me with wool applique if I get stuff that is as kitted as possible. So, like, I buy the kit. It has all of the fabrics that I need, even if they're not already pre-cut. It just has what I need available to me. I think that would be that's my. And a lot of people start like that with cross stitch, where they just buy kits or they buy something that's kitted up. It's easier for them. I think I'm gonna start.
Yes, it is.
I think I'm gonna work with that for the time being. She did have a few kitted up things. I bought one of them down there. So if I go back down there, there's stuff I can get. But I do think that for me, getting stuff that comes as a kit, rather than standing there going, I don't know what fabric to pick. It says pick an orange. Do you know how many shades of orange there are? Do you know how many shades of red there are? Of course you do. You cross stitch. Well, most of you cross stitch. It's a little overwhelming.
Oh, trust me, most of the friends I know would probably agree with that too. I mean, seriously, I remember when I was a kid, and I was like, nice red car, and they're like, it's cherry red. And I'm like, no, it's red. Like, no, it's cherry red, that's apple red, that's this red, that's that red. And I went, can someone please explain to me what the difference is? Because I was like, they're all the same color. Like, no, they're different. And I'm like, no, they're not. They're red. I mean, seriously, they all were the same flipping color to my untrained eye, and to anybody who can actually differentiate the half of a pigment difference between the different shades of red. Hats off to you. It ain't me.
Well, and like when I'm cross stitching, yes, I can pull flosses and go, okay, this is a red and this is this is a red and this is a red. But obviously they look different, so they would look differently on a project, and I can differentiate this one would look better versus that one. I kind of felt like I was guessing, and maybe I'm just more confident in my ability to guess with my cross stitch because I've been doing it longer.
Do exactly what we did with cross stitch. Stick with kits for about a year.
Well, yeah, I'm probably going to stick with kits. Like I said, I did purchase some stuff and kitted up one thing myself. We'll see how it goes. It's worst that can happen. It looks awful and everybody hates it. It's coming in my house. I like the colors in it. Anyways, so, yeah, so I had an adventure. Oh, and then I got fried chicken because we cannot go that close to Mrs. Yoder's without getting fried chicken.
No. That is a rule of the universe. And if you ever do that, I'm going to hide all the food in the house and make you eat KFC.
Blech.
And I'm not talking the chicken. I'm talking the sides.
I can handle KFC chicken. It's not like the greatest, but it's not horrible. But yeah, the sides, just KFC really. When I was a kid, that was like a thing. My grandmother, when I was real little, my grandmother that lived in Lyria, because that was where the closest KFC was. She would get us KFC, and it was good.
Like,
Last time we got KFC, both Joe and I were kind of like, this isn't as good as I remember.
Oh no, it's like Hey, comment below if you get this reference. It's like they went from generic to government issue. Think peanut butter. If you know, you know.
Or cheese. Okay.
So basically brick and mortar?
Yeah, basically. Yes. So, I mean, I did have an adventure. I did have a high time adventure. It was a good adventure because I proved to myself that I can do it, and as long as the weather is nice, and as long as the weather is nice, I can get myself down there, get what I need, and get home. Which kind of helps because, you know, Joe likes to go with me because he likes to go. My mom does like to go, but sometimes it's just inconvenient. And I need stuff like.
And the only problem is with me going, especially right now, is that for a few months I can't take any days off.
Well, yeah, it would have to be on a Saturday. Which I don't mind. Joe doesn't love it. It's very busy in Amish country on weekends. Now,
Saturday.
Personally, I take a list. I through the ashery what I need, and there we go. I mean, yeah.
I think next time we go down there, like after, like in the spring, I think we need to see if any of those hotels accept doggies, or see if we can convince your mommy and daddy, who will have so many problems. And just go down there for a Friday, Saturday.
I was saying overnight. I don't know about them taking her, but I'm sure we could work something out with
You know what? I know exactly how to get your dad to agree. We'll bring chicken.
I do know that
you think I'm kidding?
So, all right. Well, we have blabbled on for 13 minutes now. What time is it on my clock?
Time to get a clock.
Why don't we shout out our commenters?
Andre, Angie, Teresa, Victoria, Bridget, Susie, Tamara.
Thank you all so much for commenting on our video, taking a little bit of time to watch it and interact with us.
Thank you for the congrats.
Thank you for the congrats. Thank you for those of you who offered suggestions for video editing software. We did find a program that is relatively user-friendly. I can do it on the laptop with the laptop programming. It is called DaVinci Resolve. It is free. You can buy a fancier version of it, but I have the free version. So hopefully I'll be able to put pictures in it this week. If you don't see before and after pictures, I haven't quite figured that part out yet.
I do know that somebody actually not only put pictures, but separate voiceovers to where he was sitting there with two different icons and having a three-way conversation.
I am fairly certain if I play with it, I can do all that too.
Well, I was just letting you know it's capable. One of my friends streams and does videos with it, which is actually a couple of my friends, which is why I did that, which why I suggested it, because they said if she has any problems, they're happy to help.
Which helps. Okay.
Press the button now.
Press the button. We're going to go on to whips. Whips! Round 2. Like halfway through showing my first whip, it stopped. I didn't realize it, and I was almost done when I went, Wait, we're not recording.
Because the computer shut itself off because it hadn't gotten an input for 15 minutes. Well, due to work being... Because new week. Plus, like, I was going to stitch yesterday, but the lawn needed a lot of love.
The lawn was looking rough yesterday.
And I did so much weed whacking and edging with the weed whacker. This is my hand. So, no stitching.
Well, let's talk about my whips then. Strictly Come Dance Week is what we're going to see. My whips form. We will start with ARTM's Bell. Boom. From their Quaker Fantasy series. Joe's like, I am moving this so we don't cut this off again.
I moved the mouse pointer off the button.
This is stitched on white 32? No. 28. No, I think it's 32. Yeah, it's 32. I did 414 stitches. The little cup needed the beigey color put in it. And then I started this circle here. There's a vine that goes here. This is full coverage filled in. There's a blue background and then beast, half human. So when I pull this out next, I'll be continuing on in that circle. And if you are new here, I take things out of the bag and put them right back as I'm showing them. That way I don't lose stuff. I used to not do that and I lost stuff in it and did badly. So we do this now. And there are some crinkles. I apologize. Tuesday the 19th, the day of my adventure, was Talk Like a Pirate Day. Arr, maybe that's why I was feeling adventurous. Maybe that's why I was feeling adventurous.
Adventures!
I started Shannon Christine's Midnight Sale. This project is not as big as I thought it was. It is only 93 by 93. I thought it was bigger than that. I really did.
Mention the moon.
This is on, I will. This is on a piece of 32 count fireflies. And that is 441 stitches. Just started the sale here. You can take that down and possibly fold it up for me if you love me. Now the one thing I didn't realize until I started stitching.
Really? If you love me?
Oh, yeah, I say that all the time. Well, one thing I did not realize with this project, this moon here, it's called for an all metallic. It's called for an all crank. I don't object to stitching with metallics. I don't object to putting metallics on my project. I object to there being that much Kreinik in one place. It's a texture thing with me. So I presented I presented the what do I do question to my friends. Do I? Because there is metallic, there's Kreinik here in the ocean, in the waves, and then there's, around the border here is Kreinik. So I said, do I take all the Kreinik off, but then what do I do about the beads? Because again, beads in the oceans and the stars are beads. And my friends are like, no, you can't take them all off, because that just would take away from it. Then one of my other friends was like, hey, how about you do the moon in DMC L12? That, my friends, is what we are going to do. So it will still have that metallic shimmer to it. It will not be densely packed metallic, and I will not go nuts. Good plan. Good plan, my friend. Then I moved on to stitching Quaker Heart. It is a project that my guild is working on. We started this in August. We are working on this. We will be doing like an FFOing on this in November. If I don't get it done, I can take in 2 pieces of fabric and FFO it. But I am trying to get it done, because I would like to get it done. this is just on white 32. And 499 stitches finished the front heart. The initials block, it is supposed to be all 3 of your initials. However, when I put my 3 initials on there, it just looked goofy. It just looked weird. So I just did my first and last initial and put a heart underneath of them. I modified it. I swung from the hip. So the front heart is done. Now I'm working on the back heart. If you've been here for any amount of time, you will know there is one thing I do not like to stitch. Well, there's a few things I don't like to stitch, but one of them is alphabets. I made the decision to remove the alphabet and just put some motifs from some other projects on there. I started with the key because that's kind of where the center lined up. It's like right under here is the center. So my plan is to stitch the 2 sides of the heart, and then there's a border that goes around the bottom, and figure out what motifs I have that I can finish filling in this white space with. So it'll be a collection of my little motifs that I like. That's my plan. We'll see how it works. But with 2 prompts for that, it was your favorite whip and a whip you've stitched on with others. This was 205 stitches. I hope I have room in there to sneak in the before photo. The last prompt for the week was to stitch on something that you've made your own with some changes. I used my pass for that because I just was out of time. Plain and simple, I was out of time. I pulled out Supernatural's Ogre for my Sal prompt. It was a 300-400 week, and I did 400 stitches on, I did one of the 2 that I used Quaker Heart for. I used a pass, so I only did 300 stitches, but I got to claim 400 stitches. So then it was kind of like, okay, I need to either do the last prompt or do the Sal. I had the pass for the last prompt, so I picked up my Sal. My Supernaturals is stitched on 32 count heirloom. All of my fabrics, unless noted, are hand dyed by me. The Slovak Farm. 304 stitches is an ogre torso. He has no legs. He has no legs!
Hey, honey, it's the second phase of the boss battle.
Exactly. I was laughing about it when I got done and I was posting my pictures. I'm like, he has no legs!
And if you know, you know. That's actually what happens in a lot of, like, especially with Zelda. I've taken out his legs! Uh-oh, now the torso's flying around. Crud.
He has no legs! I don't know.
Button good.
This is the second time we've filmed this. I have lost my mind. I am tired and hungry.
I do not think A and B are related.
Well, this is probably true.
Though, wouldn't you have to know where your mind is to lose it? Shut up, Joe, I know.
This brings us to my weekend stitching. I'm working on Olympic 32, which is the 2021 Tokyo Summer Olympics. Because we all know how 2020 happened. This is the project I am working on for those 2,300 stitches. Is those 2,300 stitches going to get finished on this project? That's the question. And there is another reason why that is questionable at this point. Now, talk about that in plans. This is a stamped kit that I got from someplace. So it's all a kit. It comes with the chart stamped on it. And your key stamped next to it. They do give you like a little glossy sheet that I enlarged so I could count my stitches. I did 942 stitches on it. I am working on I'm just straight up working on color completing. So I did this color, the red heart, or the red dot, which is this sort of green color in here. The plus sign is a green that's over here, and then I did some of this red dot, which is yellow. And I was like, last week I was all like, I finished color number 1, look at me go. No, I didn't. I'm a liar. I had a huge chunk of stitches in here that I hadn't finished. It is a little bit hard to see on camera when filming because they stamp it with high contrast colors. All of this is stitched right in here. They stamp it with high contrast colors so that you can clearly see where you are supposed to stitch. It does start to fill in and look much better once you stitch in. I'm about halfway done with Olympic number 32. And as I said, I gotta figure out if I'm gonna finish Olympic number 32 with this or not. We're going to talk about that with plans. One final thing to show you on our whips. On my whips. Wool applique. As you may or may not remember, I had finished this circle and this circle of my little garland. I'm really only showing you these when I finish the circles. I don't know why, it's just kind of how it's working. But I finished up the teacup circle, and it's really hard to see. The teacup is yellow, and it does not like it. I'm not gonna fight with it. And I finished up. Does that help any? A little bit? Not really. And then I did the little sewing machine. Now the thing with the teacup and the sewing machine is these bits of black that are on here are really only secured by, like this was really only secured by these French knots. And this was really only secured by this vine here. I didn't like that because as I was working on it, they were wiggly and loose. So I went ahead with black thread on both of them and just buttonhole stitched them down. You can't even see it on the actual project or on the actual front. So it gives it a better look, in my opinion. So we're tugging along on the wool applique. And that has been my stitching for the week. Let's go into haul because I do have haul. Haul, y'all.
Yeehaw.
Yeehaw. We'll start with this. I have encouraging developments from my one supplier. The September Nora Corbett release, one of them was this. It is called Flower Charmer. I ordered it on the 15th when it was released, and it is already here. I actually ordered something, I can't remember if it was Thursday or Friday. Amongst yourselves. Sorry about that. I actually ordered something from Winchell Thursday or Friday, and I got the shipping notice today that it's shipping. I am encouraged that they are caught back up. I'm hoping. I'm not going to guarantee that they are, but I am encouraged. So I did, but I got Flower Charmer. I'm actually going to stitch this for the one lady over at the church who is like, yeah, she's a Flower Charmer. It calls for a Karen Water Lily that I have.
Yay!
I was was so excited to get it, I didn't even pay attention. I just ordered the stuff that it needed. So I should have paid attention.
You're fine.
And then the Mill Hill. It only calls for one bead, which is this red. But the thing about Witchell is when you buy Mill Hills, you have to buy 3 of them. If you don't buy the bead packs for a project, or if they don't offer it in a pack. Oh well. Alright, on to my adventure. So the place I went to was called Plaid Sheep Company. It's fun.
Want me to yield the price?
I don't care. Y'all can see what I paid for it. This is the kit that I got. So it comes with the fabric and the watermelon and the accoutrement to make little watermelon slices. And yes, one of them has a little bite out of it. And remember how I was like, I'm going to take that 4th of July thing down there and kit it up? Well, guess what I forgot? It's okay, I can get it kitted up. I bought this, Autumn on the Farm. Isn't that adorable? And the various bits of fabric I will need for it. I am not going to go through them individually. That would take far too much time. I have a couple. I'm gonna try not to turn wool applique into cross stitch and constantly buy. I'm probably not. I mean, there are a couple of things that I go, places that I go to.
You don't constantly buy.
There are a couple of places that I go to with the group that I stitch with on Mondays. They do offer wool applique kits. If I'm out with one of them and I see something, I may purchase, but I really do want to work on what I have before I buy more. That is it for haul. We are going to go into plans and announcements now. Plans and announcements.
No, I have no idea what I'm doing. Hopefully my bug comes back. It's currently tired.
It's very tired today. Well, that's okay. Alright. Well, Daily 30s prompts on Friday were Hurricane Week. Ironic, considering there was a tropical storm off the coast of the United States. It came inland, in coast, on Saturday morning in the United States. So, hurricane season is summer, fall in their respective hemispheres. North America, it would be June. North America is June to December for hurricane season, and the East Pac is mid-May to November, and I forget what the Asian Pacific hurricane season is, but it's rough. It's their summer fall season. So the first prompt is to stitch on something that is summer or fall in themed. If I look at the projects that I haven't stitched on yet in my low rotation, we have Harvest Hauler, and that's it. That's what I got. So I guess that's gonna go for that.
Yep.
Right?
That's good. We're at the not many choices stage of the rotation.
We are. This is the likely candidate to get the free pass for this week. Only because I only have one. This next one, I only have one project that fits this, and I've already technically stitched on it in this rotation. So, stitch on a whip that is related to Australia, Japan, or your biggest whip. And that goes back to the biggest hurricane that there ever was. I think. Something like that. I could probably figure out how to tie a whip into Australia. Possibly Japan. But my biggest whip is Dressmaker's Daughter. Has the candidacy to be the one that I put the pass on. Because I don't know what it's going to look like.
Okay.
Prompt number 3. Stitch on a whip containing letters, because we name our hurricanes with the alphabet. Quaker Heart does have letters on it. The front half does have letters on it. I put those letters on the front half. So I could use that. I have a new project that I have started today. You will see it next week. It is Long Dog Sampler's Leave a Kiss. That has words, so that has letters. So we have two choices. Leave a kiss. Works for me. Okay. Oh, stop saying K so much, Laura.
You're fine.
Stitch on a whip that is closest to being retired. No, people don't like that. Stitch on a whip that is closest to being retired, i.e. that is almost finished. Quaker Heart is the hand. I have a couple others that are probably just about as close, but I really want to get the stitches in on Quaker Heart. So, there's Quaker Heart. And what I have left is actually not falling this. That would be the closest. Stitch on a project that has been the worst, but you continue on to the finish. Please tell us what makes it the worst. I do not remember what prompted me to write that prompt. I'm going to go look it up. Oh, yes! So if you are from the U.S., you know who Jim Cantori probably is. Even if you don't watch the Weather Channel, you probably know who Jim Cantori is. And you know Jim Cantori goes to where the absolute worst weather happens. There is no exact count of hurricanes the man has covered, but it's probably well over 100. He has covered 25 Cat 5 hurricanes.
And this guy goes there on purpose.
They, at one point, in the 90s or the early 2000s, made a commercial about the fact that when Jim Cantori shows up, you know bad weather's coming. Like, it's been a running joke in the U.S. for years. So that's where I came up with Stitch on the project that has been through the worst, but you are carrying on with, because Jim Cantori has been on the Weather Channel for 20 years. Has been on the Weather Channel for 20 plus years. My two choices are Lace Corset. Why that one has been through the worst is because I am off somewhere in it by like half a stitch. I don't know where. So I have to fudge it. Yeah. And when I figured out I was off, I was like, I am not restarting this. I will fudge it. I am fudging it fairly successfully, but it's been a pain. And then Calla Lily Bride is what made me really discover that I do not like the texture of a lot of metallic in one place, because I did the wings in full metallic.
So basically, this is how do I want to torture my wife?
I'm past the metallic portion of the wings on Calla Lily Bride, so it doesn't really matter. And Lace Corset, I'm working on as you're looking at it, like I'm working on the side that isn't messed up to help work on fudging it.
That would be Lace Corset. That way, when it's annoying her, I can say blame the nickel, not your husband.
Correct. I now have 3 monthlies left because I finished one of them today. I have a pass for I don't have to stitch it monthly. And I have a pass for, I only have to do, I think it's 100 stitches. Might be 200 stitches. It's a stitch discount for the monthly. Those are probably all going to get used. At the beginning of today, I had both O's, the A, and the S left of school days. I have finished one of the O's. I'm going to use the free pass for the other O. And I will likely use the stitch discount pass for the S, because those all fit on the project Leave a Kiss. And then Arctic Blast is really all I've got for the A. Although I could do a Leave a Kiss for it too. I'll probably do Arctic Blast because I want to get some stitches on Arctic Blast. Yes. And now my final conundrum of life. If you've been here for a while, Well, with stitching. If you've been here for a while, you remember me talking about Myth and Magic Stitching Wars, the game where we stitch like mad women for ingredients and make spells and fling spells at each other. It has resurrected. It starts Sunday, October 1st. In theory, I could use my stamped kit for stitches. It is very hard to see those stitches. I feel like I would just be inviting the admins to be pissed off at me by using it. And I have so many other things. I just don't feel like it would be a necessary thing to do. I know as an admin, it sometimes is very challenging to see those stitches. And they, as admins, because of the nature of the game, need to get through things quickly. I do kind of want to be nice to them, even though I want to kick their butts in the competition. It's a game. There's no real prizes. It's just bragging rights. So my conundrum is to not work on... Now, mind you, I have half of the Tokyo Olympics, which is just under... I have just around 1,200 stitches left on that one. And then I have the Paris Olympics, which is 1,200 stitches. So I have just about 2,400 stitches, and the yearly is done, and it is mid-September. So the question is, do I just not worry about working on the yearly until my team is knocked out of Myth and Magic Stitching Wars, or do I use one of my other yearly projects to finishing the Tokyo Olympics? Why are you looking at me like that?
Raven Queen.
I can throw Raven Queen on there.
Because, one, you really want to get that done.
I do.
And that would make you feel not so bad about not doing the other one, because it's like, ooh, Raven Queen. I know you love it. You're at the, fun stage, fast stitching stage. So it would be really good for that, wouldn't it?
It would be. And in all truthful honesty, yeah, because in all truthful honesty, Belle would not be good for it, because I am at the stage with Belle where I am backstitching and beading.
Yeah, I love you. No.
So, yeah, my choices would be Raven Queen or O Feather. I will totally throw Raven Queen at it, though. And we will see. I'll see where I'm at with where I get through with that for the weekend before I decide on the Paris Olympics, how we're going to do that. Right.
Le Paris.
Le Paris, because the Paris Olympics are next year. So that's it. It's been our stitching for the week. My stitching for the week. Plans for next week? If you have seen any cross-stitch charts that you would like, contact me and everything I've shown you this week I can order for you, except for that Quaker Heart. Is that of a magazine? I don't know where it came from. Any fabrics that you like, I can dye for you because they're all my own. And if you need substitute fabrics for something, contact me. I can probably come up with something that would look very nice. So, what would we like the folks to do?
Please have a wonderful week. And don't go totally insane. And try to get some sleep. Please like, comment, subscribe, bell notification. Thingy me Bobby. The whole YouTube thingy me Bob.
The whole YouTube spiel. Thank you guys for spending a little bit of time with us this week. We hope you had a good time, and we hope to see you next week. Bye!
Bye!